no one, I repeat no one, dives as deep as us, and today we are going Subnautica level deep because Ethereum, it needs to scale, and methinks there is more than meets the optimistic eye. So don't blink, cause it's time for Chico Crypto. So for those of you who do not know, Ethereum, it needs help on-chain with scaling, or off-chain. Gas prices during the late summer DeFi bubble got to seriously unsustainable levels, upwards of $10 for just average speed transactions, and between $15 to $20 for a fast one. And since the DeFi hype, it has calmed, so has the fees, but they are still brutal, over $1 for a fast transaction today. So how is Ethereum going to scale? Well, there are three main groups out there for scaling: sidechains, state channels, and rollups. And since that summer DeFi bubble, one solution has taken the spotlight, and it is what many think is going to save the day for Ethereum. It's from the Rollup group, specifically of the optimistic kind. And one big company is pulling in the big DeFi names, creating an optimistic rollup mainnet, which they will say will help these big DeFi products scale. That is Optimism PBC from CEO and co-founder Jinglan Wang. So who is Jinglan? And before helping Synthetics and Uniswap scale at Optimism PBC, what was she CEO of and who was she helping scale? Well, she was CEO and co-founder of the Plasma Group, and they were helping OMG Network, formerly Amisego, scale with the more viable Plasma. As we can see from this 2019 Amisego developer update, they were referencing Plasma Group and the work they were doing on coming up with a general purpose Plasma chain. Going into the blog post they reference, it's from the Plasma Group, titled Towards a General Purpose Plasma, and the TLDR says, we created a general purpose Plasma design that allows you to build a broad class of smart contracts on Plasma. Reach out to learn how. Smart contracts with Plasma, that didn't happen. But Amisego, they needed it. They were relying on Plasma Group to help them solve scaling with Plasma and hopefully smart contracts. As we can see from this March 2019 Amisego blog post speaking about what the team has done, they said, among other things, they've already contributed to the founding of both the Stanford Center for Blockchain Research and the Plasma Group, which was founded to create standards and general tools for Plasma development, which will benefit the entire ecosystem. So Amisego contributed to the founding of the Plasma Group, aka they helped fund it. So the next question is, what happened to Plasma? Well, in January of 2020, something weird happened. As you can see from Plasma Group's own website, still up to this day, there is a blog post with the heading, Members of Plasma Group have moved on to new beginnings. And that blog is titled just that, On to New Beginnings, and it says some very interesting things. We can see Ethereum entering a new chapter, and we're so proud to have been able to contribute to that progress. A year ago, scalability research felt like the most pressing need to us, so we threw everything we had into accelerating it. It is amazing to see the multitude of competent teams pushing production Plasma into reality now. This shift from research to implementation means that our mission as a research organization must shift as well, which was shifting gears from Plasma Group to Optimism PBC and working on optimistic rollups. They said that Plasma had reached maturity, the research, even though they didn't put out a general purpose Plasma chain because Plasma wasn't it. It couldn't handle the scaling of smart contracts. But going back to their New Beginnings blog, at the bottom they thank their donors, which include the Ethereum Foundation, which includes Vitalik and Ayamaguchi, interesting, Amisego, and Matic, which we know is using an adapted version of the Plasma tech. But the Amisego thanks is important. They say Amisego was among our earliest supporters. Financial and moral support is there, and audits on the first version of the OMG Plasma framework, which took inspiration from Plasma Group's work on predicates, are nearly finished. It's exciting to see our work being used in the wild. Well, how did that work pay off? What has the OMG network achieved? Well, the OMG mainnet launched with much hype, with even Vitalik Buterin giving them a tweet of congratulations, which he does not do for many other projects. So why Amisego and OMG? Well, he put his faith into them. He was an early supporter, 2017, tweeting about how their token model was one of his favorites, which makes sense as Vitalik was or is, I don't know, an advisor to them. Now, since OMG mainnet launch, we got some big scalability news. USDT Tether could be put on the OMG layer after a Bitfinex integration, which if you go to the ETH gas station, that is much needed to this day. Tether is the second biggest gas guzzler. Wait, if Tether is on OMG, which provides scaling, aka uses less gas, why today is it still the second biggest gas guzzler? Well, because no one is using OMG. Going to the mainnet Explorer, just 10 transactions and 5 blocks over the past 24 hours. And the mainnet has been running since June, over 6.5 months, only processing under 10,000 transactions all time. That is not good. OMG is a ghost town. And if you've been paying any attention lately, OMG Network is having a full-on breakdown. They're being acquired by a random Hong Kong venture firm. Former CEO Jun Hasegawa is abandoning ship, and they had a terribly vague AMA. Their subreddit daily discussions the past couple of days, people are losing faith, criticizing the AMA. So now that we have a history of what happened with Plasma, which was technology forefronted by the Plasma Group, which hasn't succeeded whatsoever, my question is, why is Ethereum putting face into that same group again, just rebranded to Optimism PBC with Jinglan and the Optimistic Rollup? And a deeper level we go. As we can see, the late summer DeFi bubble, it happened mid-September. Who decided to drop their light at the end of the tunnel testnet plan September 24th? Optimism PBC did, saying the urge to scale is bigger than ever. Synthetics would be the first to launch and trial the testnet, and even putting out a roadmap showing how the steps for mainnet were planned to go, and how the phased testnet with synthetics would go, consisting of 3 phases and a security drill. Then they say, in parallel, we will be preparing some of our other early adopters for testnet integrations so that they are ready to deploy once a full testnet is running. And the early adopter cohort is shown below: Synthetics, Uniswap, and Chainlink, 3 massive Ethereum names. But then at the bottom, something very, very interesting. In the special acknowledgements, they say, George Hotz, thanks for saving their arses. Saving their arses? George Hotz? Well, I covered him on Monday. He is a legendary developer, being the first to jailbreak the iPhone and the PS3 online network. And now he is competing with Elon Musk in AI and self-driving. I told you guys this guy would come back up. So what's the story between Optimism and George? Well, CEO Jinglan gave some insight into the story in a tweet thread. She says they were working on the EVM to OVM transpiler, and they were up against a high-pressure deadline. My question is, from who and for what? But back to the tweet. They said they searched within the Solidity community and people's plates were full. Well, full enough not to help with Ethereum scale? That doesn't make sense. Well, by fate, they met George at a restaurant and spoke to him about the problem. And George, he decided to come and help, which he did do, as we can see from the pull request for the OVM transpilation changes. It is GeoHot, George, who made the commits and changes in a matter of 4 days. Now, going back to Jinglan's tweet regarding the meeting, she doesn't reference anything about what this was, a contract payment or anything. It was just a really nice tweet thread, which almost makes it look like George decided to do this out of the kindness of his heart. Well, George in October spoke on this. Let's listen to his account.
And then they wrote this thing they called the transpiler. And the transpiler took the bytecode and it transpiled it into OVM safe bytecode. Basically bytecode that didn't make any of those restricted sys calls and added the calls to the hypervisor. This transpiler was a 3,000 line mess. And it's hard to do. It's hard to do if you're trying to do it like that, because you have to kind of like deconstruct the bytecode, change things about it, and then reconstruct it. And I mean, as soon as I hear this, I'm like, well, why don't you just change the compiler, right? Why not the first place you build the bytecode, just do it in the compiler? So yeah, I asked them how much they wanted it. Of course, measured in dollars. And I'm like, well, okay. And yeah.
And you wrote the compiler.
Yeah, I modified, I wrote a 300-line diff to the compiler. It's open source. You can look at it.
So they paid him to do it. How much do you want it? A pretty penny. And their original compiling code was a 3,000-line mess. Your mess isn't making sense to me, as George, he does not work with Ethereum. He has probably played with it a tiny bit, but he is no deep developer. There are so many better than him. I will tell you that right now. And he was able to fix your guys' mess in a matter of 4 days. And in your blog, you said he saved your arses. Well, now George is gone. How has Optimistic Testnet been going since his departure? Well, you have to look at the progress of the staged Synthetics testnet. And one day after PBC's post, September 24th, Synthetics announced that they were already moving into Stage A, staking on the Optimism testnet. Bullish. And then, just a month later, mid-October, they announced Stage B. Bullisher, as you had even the devs tweeting about it now, including the Ethernaut, which Synthetics retweeted. Ethernaut said, "We have successfully teleported some Synthetics from Layer 1 to Optimism's Layer 2. So far, the subject appears to be completely healthy. We'll continue to monitor it throughout the night. Stay tuned." And even Clem.east, Synthetics engineer, tweeted about it too. L2 Phase 2 is out. You can now test L1 to L2 migration on Goerli. Devs speaking, superbly bullish for the Rollup testnet, but the speed and talk, it has slowed down, like way down. It has taken nearly 2 months to move from Stage B to Stage C. The final stage, December 4th, Synthetics dropped the blog, showing how to do it. So, based on this, Synthetics testnet should be close to being done. Going back to Optimism's roadmap, it shows once this is done, a full testnet and second and third DApp should be integrated already. Well, I'll tell you, things aren't looking that clear. Kane Warwick, founder of Synthetics, was on a call just 3 days before the Phase C launch. Let's hear what Kane had to say.
And that was kind of my intuitive starting point, right? Is that like, if there's a transition, you want to maintain fungibility, right? It's like the question of what are we optimizing for? And for me, optimizing for maintaining fungibility across these two instances is, I think, kind of a deal breaker. Like if you can't, then you go, okay, fine, we can't, and let's go down a different path.
Deal breaker, different path? That doesn't sound good. Let's continue.
I think if you want to do something that that is running on two different instances, that's just you have to do it. So you either do that or you have them distinct.
Yeah, but I mean, I like the idea of just like letting market forces decide for a time and see where things go, rather than trying to like preemptively be like, okay, we think this is definitely the right direction. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, agreed.
I feel like we can like see where things move and then make it come back and revisit it and say, okay, this is what we're seeing. You know, like this is reality. We'll also have more information at that point, right? Like who else is on L2? What other, how much utility is there on L2?
I think probably the most interesting thing, sorry, it's a bit of a meta point, but the most interesting thing for me here is that there is no consensus, right? Like there's no status quo. Like I think there's probably an assumption, I would imagine, right? Like in the community, maybe even within the other core contributors, there's like some status quo, consensus viewpoint, but that actually doesn't exist here, which is kind of interesting, right? Like we're sort of saying we're working towards this thing, but like there's no shared goal necessarily, which I think is an interesting point, an interesting place to be.
So if you couldn't tell, they are in the dark about where this is going. They have no freaking idea. There is no consensus within themselves, and there is none on the outside, as there isn't another team working with Optimism's Layer 2. Replay what Justin of Synthetics had to say.
This is reality. We'll also have more information at that point, right? Like who else is on L2? What other, how much utility is there on L2?
No one else is on L2 with them. So Optimism hasn't started Uniswap, Chainlink, or anyone. Or Justin would have never said that. So I'm not going to make a call on if Optimism is the way to go for scaling, because it's not my place. I'm not a developer. I just bring up questions that need answered, and I like to go deep. Let's go deeper. Remember the Ethernaut? Well, that is Alejandro Ramos, Synthetics developer, who was also on that call with Kane regarding scaling December 1st. And guess what he tweeted just yesterday? He learned a new developer trick from none other than Austin Griffith, who loves to build on xdai, sharing a similar view as me, calling it Ethereum's testnet of value. Cheers, I'll see you guys next time.